Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Aunty Lisa Show. Yes! What shall we do a story about today? Who will be in it? Aleksander, Aunty Lisa and Kristoffer? Lucky. Spencer the ghost dog. He is one of my top 10 favourites. Jack. That's handy because he's... Oh, and because it's escaped, I was only going to pick two, but I'm also going to have a lion. Nice. Something from in here. Captain Barnacles. And... do you know, I had a psychic moment it was going to be a Velociraptor. It's a Velociraptor. Nice. Okay. This one is random stuff, I think. Yep. Be something good. Don't be something rubbish. A slide. It's not bad. And place. A place. The supermarket. Where to begin? One day, Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer were feeling a little tiny bit peckish. So, they went to the supermarket where you can find such delights as pizzas, sausages and ice creams and other stuff as well, like cake. So, they went to the supermarket and they were going up and down the aisles of the supermarket looking for all the things they wanted to eat when they started to notice something a little bit odd. They're walking along and they spotted something just disappearing around the corner. And this happened a few times. So they walk a little bit further down an aisle and then something disappear around the corner. And they were like, what is that in the supermarket? And then they heard a funny noise. And the funny noise went... I don't know if you can hear that. It went... tap, 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 tap. That's a funny noise. Don't normally hear things tap, 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 tapping in the supermarket. And then they heard a great big clatter. And they went, whoa, something's really fallen over. Like a great big whole shelf of beans has fallen over. Better go and investigate. Maybe we can help. Well, they turn the next corner, and what should they see but a Velociraptor in the supermarket. Woo! And they looked at the Velociraptor like this. And the Velociraptor looked at them like this. And they looked at him, and he looked at them. And they all stood very still. And they waited. And the Velociraptor went. And then, thank goodness, he ran away. And they were like, follow that Velociraptor! And he ran out of the supermarket, into the car park, and gone. Couldn't see where that Velociraptor had gone. Wow. I felt like maybe it had quite a lucky escape there, because it's not beyond a Velociraptor to eat people. In fact, between you and me, it's one of their favourite things to do. They just don't get the chance very much. So, after that horror, they decided it would be a good idea to see if anyone else had spotted a Velociraptor. So they called Chad at the police. Chad is a good friend of Aleksander and Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa. And they said, "Hey, Chad." Chad said, "Yeah? Have you seen any sightings of Velociraptors around here at all today?" And Chad said, "There has been some strange sightings, but no one's been able to spot what it was. Things have been falling over. There's been some incidents on the roads, and everyone keeps hearing a noise." And Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty said, "Yes, that sounds exactly like the Velociraptor we saw." "Oh, well, keep your eyes peeled, Chad. We'll see what other help we can get, okay?" And Chad said, "Right you are. I'll do that. Cool dudes. I'll catch you later, okay? Bye." Well, they had Chad on their side now. Chad's an excellent police officer. One of the best, possibly in the world. Very good police officer. And so then they called up another friend of theirs, who is well known for letting animals escape. Oh, my phone nearly dropped. And that friend was called Owen. "Hey, Owen." Yeah, what's up?" said Owen. And he said, "Hey, Owen, have you lost a Velociraptor?" And Owen said, "Hold on, I'll just go and check." "No, I've got all my Velociraptors." "Hang on a minute, what do you mean if I lost a Velociraptor? Is there a Velociraptor on the loose?" "Oh no, that sounds like bad news, guys. They eat people, you know." Well, Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa were well aware that Velociraptors might like to eat people. So he said, "Okay, well, if you've not lost one, it kind of come from Jurassic World. Interesting. Let's see now, what else could it have come from? Andy. We'll call up Andy. Okay, see you later, Owen. Bye." So, next on the hit list, of course, was Andy. Because Andy, as we know, works at the Natural History Museum and has a time-travelling clock. And he visits dinosaur times regularly, which is not always actually a very good idea because sometimes he nearly gets eaten. But that's just what he does. It makes for a great TV show. So, they called up Andy. "Andy!" And Andy went, "What? I was having my afternoon nap after my afternoon cup of tea and cake." And Aunty Lisa and Aleksander Kristoffer said, "Sorry, Andy. Quick question. Have you been time travelling and let animals out of the dinosaur times at all? Maybe a Velociraptor?" And Andy said, No Velociraptors. I nearly let out a pteranodon the other day. It tried to fly through just as I was coming back. But no Velociraptors, sorry." "Okay, thanks, Andy. Bye." Wasn't Andy's fault either. Well, there was nothing else for it but to see if there was any spooky links to the Velociraptor. So they called up their good friend Jack, who is one of a big crack team of ghost hunters. They called up Jack. There's a lot of phone calls in this story. "Hey, Jack." "Yeah, hiya." He talks like that. They said, "Jack, do you know if there's any strange goings on in the spooky realms around here? Maybe some dinosaur ghosts?" And Jack said, "Hold on. I'm going to ask JB and get back to you. Okay, bye." Well, at that point, Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa really very much felt that they had exhausted all of the other possibilities of people they could ask for help. So all they could do was wait and see what Jack said. So they went to the park. They vaguely kept a lookout for the Velociraptor, just in case, but it wasn't there. So they played on the swings and they played on slides, and they played on, oh no, the roundabout, and Aunty Lisa felt dizzy, so then they went back on the slide again, and they were just sliding down the slide for one final slide when they heard funny noise. And the noise went, and they went, did you hear that? And everyone, no, listen. And it went, and they went, uh-oh, I think it might be that Velociraptor again. Hold on. Now, what they hadn't done before getting on the slide was look underneath the slide. The slide was part of a cool little house. You know, those playhouses that you can play in, and then you can climb up the side and you go on a slide down the outside. And underneath the playhouse, they peered inside, and two little eyes peered back at them like this. And they went, uh-oh, I think that is the Velociraptor. This could be very bad indeed. Oh no. And the Velociraptor went, because that's what it was. And Aleksander and Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa started walking backwards very slowly now. Very, very slowly. Slowly. And then the Velociraptor went, ah! And it jumped out from underneath the slide where it had been hiding. And Aleksander and Aunty Lisa went, ah! And Kristoffer went, ah! And they started running. Well, they were terrified for their lives because the Velociraptor, although it looked small when it was hiding underneath the slide, was actually quite big and had massive teeth and one of those huge, enormous claws at the front. And they were running and running and running and running. And they were just about thinking, oh no, this is it for us. We are going to be gobbled up. They had made it all the way to the beach, which is a reasonable distance. They ran to the beach and they were just about to dive into the sea as the only course of hope when, Jack, JB and Parker and El Fuego and, naturally, Spencer the ghost dog appeared. And they went pew, 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 pew. And the Velociraptor went beep. And they went, oh, thank goodness for that. We thought we were going to be Velociraptor dinner. Thank you guys so much. Now, they were just about to say what a brilliant time to go and have an ice cream when something even more peculiar happened. At this point, Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa were all paddling in the sea. And behind them, they noticed a sort of swish, 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 swish. And they went, what is that? Maybe it's a lovely, cute little fish. Or maybe it's a hungry, scary sea monster. And just as they were thinking, it's a hungry, scary sea monster, a hungry, scary sea monster leapt out of the water towards them with his great big jaws and his ginormous, ginormous teeth. And Aunty Lisa and Kristoffer and Aleksander just went, wah! And jumped onto the beach. And the great big, ginormous sea monster went, ah! And then wiggled its way back into the sea and was gone. And they went, oh no, it's not just a Velociraptor. We've got to tackle a sea monster as well. Okay, I think we'd better get in touch with Captain Barnacles. Maybe he knows what's going on under the sea. So they called up Captain Barnacles. And Captain Barnacles said, ahoy there! What's going on with you guys then? Everything okay? And Aleksander, Aunty Lisa and Kristoffer said, everything is not okay. We nearly got gobbled up by a giant sea monster. Have you seen a giant sea monster? It's got massive teeth and scary eyes. And Captain Barnacles said, no, I don't think so. Oh, no, wait a minute, what's that? And he looked out of the octopod thing. Yes. Anyway, into the sea, and he saw a massive, ginormous, scary sea monster swimming towards them. And he went, okay, yes, affirmative. We have seen a massive, ginormous, scary sea monster with, what's that? Ginormous teeth, you said? Yes, we've got the ginormous teeth and the scary, terrifying eyes. Oh, no. This is pretty serious. I've got to go. Okay, bye. Well, it seemed as though maybe something pretty terrible was about to happen to Captain Barnacles and all of the Octonauts. So, Kristoffer, Aleksander and Aunty said, right, we've got to save the day. We need to rescue them from that terrifying sea monster. If only we had some way of getting out to sea. Who do we know with a super speedy speedboat? Drill! Chad's brother Drill. He works for the Coast Guard nowadays. Aunty Lisa called him up. Hey, Drill, we need your help. We need to rescue Captain Barnacles. A giant, enormous, scary sea creature with enormous teeth and terrifying eyes is going to eat him and all the other Octonauts. Can you help? We need your boat, please. Bye. Wait, not bye. Just say yes. And Chad said, of course, I'll be there in about 10 seconds. Okay, bye. Chad turned up. He's super cool. He's got sunglasses on, ready for action. So everybody jumped aboard Chad's sea rescue boat. Just as they were leaving, they noticed a load of sea lions swimming frantically in the sea. And they said, I bet you any money those sea lions are running away from a giant, ginormous, terrifying sea monster with enormous teeth and horrible, scary eyes. Let's go in the opposite direction to all those terrified sea lions. And that's what they did. They zoomed in the opposite direction to those terrified sea lions. And Jack and Spencer the ghost dog leaned over the boat edge and looked for the sea monster. And so did everybody else. But Spencer the ghost dog has special powers because he is a ghost. And he could tell where the sea monster was that was also a ghost sea monster. And they all looked down and went, oh! And they finally spotted him. And the ghost sea monster was doing circles around the octopod. What is it called? The octopod? Anyway, circles around it where the Octonauts were all inside going, we're going to get eaten. And they leant over the boat and they tried to use their zappers. Pew, 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 pew. But it wasn't working because the water was too deep between them. Aleksander, Kristoffer and Aunty said, you know what? We've got to save our friends. There's only one thing for it. We're going to have to dive in. But we're going to have to be crazy quick, because if that sea monster spots us before we catch him with our super ray things that come out of our phones and this little ray gun that we've picked up from JB, he's going to eat us. Now, it seemed like a crazy plan, and it was, but this is what they did. They put on some scuba gear super quick with breathing apparatus so no one would drown. And then they tied a rope around each of them, and they had their rope at the other end of the rope was on the boat, and Drill had the hold of the other end of the rope because he's super strong. And they said, right guys, JB went in, Parker went in, Jack went in, and Spencer the ghost dog, because he didn't need any scuba equipment being a ghost, he went in. Aunty Lisa, Kristoffer and Aleksander all dived in with their super ghost catching equipment. They went 1, 2, 3, jump! And they swam. And the giant, scary, enormous sea monster was going, ah! And Captain Barnacles was going, ah! And Dasher was going, ah! But still taking photos. And all the other Octonauts were like, ah! And Aleksander, Kristoffer, Aunty Lisa, Jack, JB, and Parker all went 1, 2, 3. Pew, 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 pew. And the terrifying, horrifying, scary sea monster ghost was gone. And everyone went, oh, thank God. Oh, I don't think my heart could take any more. Well, it was a close call. It was, frankly, extremely dangerous. But they did it. And then the Octonauts were so thankful for having had their lives saved that they invited everyone onto their octopod for tea and cake. And so that's what they did. And they all had a lovely time relaxing after that near-death experience with the horrible, scary, ginormous sea monster with the massive teeth and the scary eyes. And let's not forget the ghost Velociraptor as well. It was a busy day. And at the end of the day, they all went home with bellies full of cake and tea and a little bit of ice cream and went to bed because they were exhausted. And that is the end of the story. Love you. Bye bye.